Hello everyone, my name is Varun Matolia and I welcome you all on this lecture series on transportation engineering. This is our lecture 6, second lecture on horizontal alignment. In our first lecture, we were studying about super elevation. Whenever we provide a horizontal slope or a horizontal curve, there should be a slope provided in order to counter the centrifugal force. So in last class, we saw that the super elevation, also known as cant, also known as banking, can be expressed in this form. So here this E is super elevation, F is your lateral friction coefficient, this V is velocity of the vehicle or design speed of the road in meter per second. This R is the radius of curve, the horizontal curve in meters. F with a limiting value of 0.15. So these were the terms. G was 9.81 meter per second square. These were the terminology or labels which we used to calculate the super elevation. The super elevation value calculated here tells us that while deriving this equation, we wrote it equals to P by W. And this whole representation can be expressed in terms as centrifugal ratio. Whenever we call it as centrifugal ratio, it is related to centrifugal force. And this V square by GR is countered by a combined effort of super elevation and this lateral friction. As you can see, the value of lateral friction is 0.15 and E itself helps you to get a horizontal component or a counter component for weight. So these two components help us to counterbalance this centrifugal force. Now this equation can also be written in terms of velocity v, which is in kilometer per hour. We can express this E plus F is equals to V square. How we convert small v into capital V or meter per second into kilometer per hour? This is the multiplication or division factor which we use to convert these vice versa. The value of G can be written as it is 9.81 and R, which is different for each condition. So this expression now becomes, if you multiply this, it will be 127 point something. So we are removing that point something. So this is the final formula which we will use for calculating super elevation. The value of super elevation which we talked about, or the limiting values of super elevation which we talked about, limiting values of super elevations were for urban roads it is 0.04 or 4%. For plain or rolling terrain it is 0.07 or this 7%. These are the maximum values which can be adopted as super elevation. For mountain or hill roads, the value is or 10%. This is 0.10 or 10%. These are the maximum values of super elevation which can be used. For minimum value, two to 4% of super elevation is provided to help with the drainage. On the curves, this amount of super elevation should be provided in help you with the drainage. So this was the background what we studied till now. Now let's talk about how we provide super elevation or how we design super elevation actually. This value of super elevation talks about the design speed. The V value which we have used in the formula is the design speed. Don't you consider this design speed to be the maximum? And if it is maximum, in last class we saw that for slow moving vehicles or the vehicles which stop during this horizontal curve, they will be having a component which will overturn them on the opposite direction, because the component which is provided is to counteract a centrifugal force, and centrifugal force is applicable on the vehicle only during the motion. If it is the velocity is less, centrifugal force will be less. If we have a counteracting force greater than the centrifugal force, so it will act as a overturning force, or it will create an overturning movement. It may create a little skidding. So we should consider both the types of vehicle, slow moving as well as fast moving vehicles. So to consider the slow moving vehicles, the design of super elevation is done by using few steps. We'll consider all these steps and let's understand how we incorporate the slow moving vehicle in our design. So first step is provide super elevation for 75% of design speed. So now we are not considering the design speed, we are considering some value which is less than design speed, so that we can use this design speed for slow moving vehicles also. So we are considering some value which is less than design speed, so this will help us in order to include those slow moving vehicles also, or to reduce this counter force. Sir, if this counter force is reduced or the weight component is reduced, then how will we balance that centrifugal force completely? We'll get on that. So with consideration or without using friction coefficient for calculation, हमने देखा कि सुपर एलिवेशन और फ्रिक्शनल कोएफिशिएंट इक्वली दोनों साथ में मिलके इस सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स को काउंटर करते हैं। लेकिन अगर हम कंसिडर करें कि हमारे पास फ्रिक्शन है ही नहीं और हम एक पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू ऑफ स्पीड के लिए सुपर एलिवेशन प्रोवाइड करें, क्या फ्रिक्शन नहीं होगा? फ्रिक्शन तो होगा ही ना, बट वी आर नॉट कंसिडरिंग इट। तो हम डिजाइन को ओवर सेव कर रहे हैं, हमने वेलोसिटी को कम करके उसको जो स्लो मूविंग व्हीकल थे उनके लिए सेफ किया, और जब हम इस फ्रिक्शन को यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं तो वी आर making this design over safe, because at background this friction is applicable, so it will be countering that centrifugal force, but we are not considering this, and we are designing the super elevation to counter this centrifugal force by itself. अगर हम मानते हैं कि सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स सिर्फ सुपर एलिवेशन काउंटर कर रहा है तो कितना सुपर एलिवेशन चाहिएगा, और क्योंकि यहां पे सुपर एलिवेशन के साथ साथ फ्रिक्शन भी लग रहा है, तो साथ में फ्रिक्शन और सुपर एलिवेशन ये दोनों चीजें हम डिजाइन सुपर एलिवेशन के लिए कर रहे हैं, लेकिन फ्रिक्शन भी वहां पे एप्लीकेबल है, सो दिस विल ऐड द सेफ्टी. तो हाउ विल बी, हमारे लिए प्रॉब्लम क्या है, सुपर एलिवेशन इज द प्रॉब्लम फॉर स्लो मूविंग व्हीकल, तो सुपर एलिवेशन को तो हम कम कर ही रहे हैं, लेकिन जो डिजाइन कर रहे हैं उसमें हम फ्रिक्शन को हटा देते हैं ताकि फ्रिक्शन हमें जो फास्ट मूविंग व्हीकल है उनके लिए हेल्प कर सके. तो वी रिड्यूस द सुपर एलिवेशन फॉर कंपेयरिंग द स्लो मूविंग व्हीकल फॉर द डिजाइन, एंड वी एडेड दिस फ्रिक्शनल कंपोनेंट फ्रॉम बिहाइंड. हम इन फ्रंट में बिल्कुल डायरेक्टली क्वेश्चन के अंदर नहीं ऐड कर रहे हैं या इक्वेशन के अंदर नहीं ऐड कर रहे हैं. सो दिस equation of super elevation can be written as E equals to 0.75 times of this velocity whatever we are using. Let us say call it capital V square divided by, the formula was 127 R. You can write it as GR with having the velocity component in meter per second, but let's find out the final formula directly. So if we write the calculation here, 0.75 square divide PGA 127, so say we will get this formula as capital V square by 225 R. So this is the final formula which we use when the word comes design super elevation. Whenever the question quotes this word design super elevation, then this formula will be used. If just the calculation of super elevation is required, then formula for the initial formula V square by 127 R can be used. So for design of super elevation, we'll find out the super elevation using this formula. If, or let's call it if E is less than E limiting value we just have discussed. So E, if it is less than E limiting, then design is safe. Design is safe because we cannot exceed the value of super elevation beyond this E limit. If E, or it can be equal to, there is no harm getting it equal to E limiting, but if it is greater than E limiting, then it is dangerous. Move to step 2. So what is step 2? What is step 2? So for step 2, we will consider this E value to be the maximum. What we'll consider? We'll consider this E value to be the maximum, and we will use this value of friction to be calculated. So how? We'll write the formula as this F is equals to 0. Or we can get back to our initial formula. अगर यहां फॉर्मूले से हमारे पास में नहीं आ रहा तो we will get back to our initial formula. Initial formula was E plus F equals to V square by GR. So we'll get back to this formula and we'll calculate the value of F. We know how we calculate the value of F. By putting this value of E as the limiting value. We'll calculate this value of F. And now this F, if this frictional coefficient is less than limiting frictional coefficient, that is 0.15, then the design is safe. काम चल जाएगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. But if f is greater than 0.15, we have to change the speed, because we cannot exceed these values beyond a particular limit. So finally, for the third step, what we will do, we will put limiting values of both E plus F is equals to V square by GR. We can write E as the limiting value for plain terrain 0.7 and F is 0.15. So it will be V square equals to 0.22 times GR, and this can be replicated as V is equals to 0.22 GR. You can calculate the velocity which should be used for design of this geometrical feature. So in these three steps, what we did, we initially tried to save the slow moving vehicles by providing the velocity to be only 75% of that or as that of the maximum or the ruling design speed. If the design come out to be in the limits, or if the super elevation comes out to be in the limits, then it is okay. But if the value of super elevation exceeds this limiting value of super elevation for different terrains, for urban it is 4%, for plain or rolling terrain it is 7%, for mountainous terrain it is 10%. If the value of super elevation exceeds these super elevations, then we have to consider the friction into the calculation. By putting the limiting value of this super elevation, will calculate the value of friction or frictional coefficient. Now with this calculation, if the frictional coefficient comes out to be within the limit, we are always happy. But if this frictional component also exceeds, we don't have any other this thing, we have to change the velocity. So we will calculate the velocity or the design velocity by putting the limiting values of this friction and the super elevation. So this is how we'll design the super elevation. So how this super elevation is provided? So let's do a quick question and then we'll understand how these things are happening. So let us take, so question is, for a design speed of 80 kilometers per hour, calculate or design super elevation, for a radius of curve equals to 450 meters and for B radius of curve to be 150 meters. So let's move on with the solution. But the formula, if we are using design super elevation word, so the formula which will be used will be E is equals to capital V, because velocity is given in kilometer per hour, V square divided by 225 R. Directly put the value of these given terms and we can write the value of super elevation by calculating. So let's calculate. What is the value of super elevation? The super elevation is coming out to be 0.063. If it is a plain terrain, this, okay, we can find the design speed as 80 km per hour. So we can definitely see what kind of terrain this is. If it is a plain terrain, this value is satisfactory, because for a plain terrain, this need to be less than 0.07. So design is safe. Safe. And for terrain higher than plain terrain, plain or rolling terrain, the values of super elevation is higher. So in that condition also, this is safe. Let's get on to the second question. Because for second question, radius is smaller. Radius is small, then the calculated, obviously from this formula, if the denominator is small, the value of overall fraction will be more. So let's write the formula as E is equals to V square by 225R, and again calculating from here, it is 150, I'm sorry, 150. So this value will be 0.19, and it is definitely much greater than your limiting value. So now we should move on to step 2. What is step 2? Step 2 is get back to our initial formula. E plus F is equals to V square by 127R. You can use it as V square by GR by using V in meter per second. It is up to you, but this formula we know, so we can write the value of F to be V is 80 square by 127, R is 150, minus the value of E, which is limiting 0.07. So we can calculate this now. So this value is coming out to be 0.265. We can write it as 2627. So this value is way greater than the limiting value of frictional coefficient. What should we do now? We have to limit the frictional coefficient and the super elevation at their limiting values, and we have to reduce the design speed. So let's move on to the third step. What third step says? Third step says calculate the value of V. So what we have this velocity equals to under root this value 0.22 multiplied by the denominator of this V, that was 127 into R. Now calculate using the value of radius as 150, 0.22 multiply 127 multiply by 150. So we can write it the value comes out to be 64.74 kilometers per hour. So this should be the design speed, or the speed with which we will design all the features. So this is how we will design the super elevation, or we will design the super elevation to be provided on the highway. Let's move on to the next topic, that how this super elevation alignment is actually done. You know, there is already a lateral slope which is provided on the highway, that is known as, or on the road, that is known as camber. So with camber, how do we change this camber into the super elevation? So this can be used by, let's write the topic, alignment of super elevation. So this can be written as alignment of super elevation. First, we have to eliminate the crown. What is crown? It is the top point of the camber. When road is provided with a camber, there the central point is the highest point, and that is known as crown. So how will we eliminate this crown? This can be done by rotating the outer edge about the crown. How? If this is my road, this is the pavement, so I need, this is a theta, some value theta. I need to provide a higher slope, and that too in the complete pavement, because we have seen the value of camber. The camber is at max, it is 3% for, or 4% for earthen roads. But for highways, if we talk about CC roads or bituminous roads, these camber values are pretty less as compared to the super elevation. So if we are providing super elevation, this ought to be the higher slope provided on the pavement. So now we have to provide a slope. First, we have to eliminate, or we should eliminate, this camber. This camber can be eliminated by rotating the outer edge. This is the outer edge about the crown. This is the crown. So what we'll do, we will increase this height. Again, we'll increase the height. Again, we'll increase the height till it is parallel to, or the height of this outer edge is as equal to this crown. Now, if we have eliminated the crown, or we have reached the crown, we should reach till here. So by giving this slope, the final slope, we will eliminate the crown. So elimination of crown will occur when we reach, or the outer edge reaches here. तो क्या हुआ इसमें, हमारे पास में क्राउन था, हमने क्राउन के अबाउट आउटर एज को उठाया, इस तरह से उठाया कि इट शुड लुक लाइक अ कंप्लीट स्लोप. नाउ इफ वी वांट टू प्रोवाइड फर्दर स्लोप, वी कैन इंक्रीज इट फर्दर. तो विल टॉक अबाउट इट लेटर, बट पहला हमारा जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है, दैट इज टू एलिमिनेट द क्राउन बाय different method. So first method was rotating the outer edge about the crown. So this is how the crown can be eliminated. Second method can be by diagonal shift. So how the diagonal shift method works? The same way, when crown is here, with the transition we shift this crown from here to here. So what happened here? This alignment changed. Then again we shift this crown, again we shift this crown, again we shift this crown, again we shift this crown until we reach here. So this method can also be used to convert this crown into a slope or to eliminate this crown. Look, why I'm saying we are providing this, because while if it is a straight road, this is another straight road, and we are connecting these two roads with the curve. We are connecting these straight stretches with the horizontal curve. So here, when the road is straight, there is no camber. Sorry, there is no super elevation. Camber is always there. There is no super elevation. If there is no super elevation, but when we are at the center of this road, or when we are moving on this curve with a radius r, at this time we need the super elevation, because while covering a curve we should have a component which can counter this centrifugal force. So from here, a straight line or radius infinite to some radius r, a curve with infinite radius to some curve with radius r, we should provide a transition zone. Transition means change from, if we talk transition in terms of super elevation, so the transitions should be from camber to super elevation. There is slope which is camber. हमने अभी क्या किया? We have transited by eliminating this crown. क्राउन था पहले, फिर हमने धीरे 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 करके इसको उठा दिया. By the distance we are raising the outer edge. आउटर एज को रेज कर रहे हैं, हमने पहले स्टेप में एलिमिनेट कर दिया क्राउन को. So this is the transition zone where slowly and steadily, here we have this crown, then we slowly and steadily remove the crown till we reach this transition zone or start of transition zone. We eliminate this crown completely, and after this transition zone to the start of the curve, we provide the value of super elevation. Let us say this theta, this is alpha, the super elevation. So alpha, so write it E. We know the symbol of, so E is more than theta. So at the beginning of transition curve, we have theta, that is your camber, and at the end of this transition zone, we have this super elevation E. And till we remain in this curve, we have the slope of this curve or slope of the pavement as this E. And while we move on to the straight track, the transition will change us or change the curve or change the slope from E to theta again. So this is how transition is provided. We are going to talk about this transition zone or transition curve in the next lecture, but because we are aligning the super elevation in step by step, so you should know why this number of steps can be provided or how these can be provided. So we have raised our outer edge in order to eliminate the camber. Now what next? Next is step 2 is rotate outer edge to provide for elevation. And this also can be done by two different methods. First, rotating about central line. What we have here at the beginning of transition curve, we have this scenario. This is your central point, or it was a crown but it is now eliminated, but it is still a central point. The theta is equal to camber. What we need? We need to provide the slope equal to super elevation. So what will we do? We will raise or rotate this curve with respect to the center point, or considering this center point as pivot. So this is our new curve. This theta or this angle is super elevation. So what we did, we considered the central point as pivot, and then this was the position at the beginning of transition curve, and we rotated it considering this center point as pivot. So by doing this, the inner edge goes down and this outer edge goes up. If we are required to provide a super elevation of E, then E by 2 rise is provided on the outer edge and E by 2 depression is provided on the inner edge. So this is how we provide super elevation by rotating about a central line. What are the advantages of this central line? Advantages are, there is no extra material required, because if we are rising the outer edge, we need material to fill. But in this condition, the material which is excavated from the depression of the inner edge can be used to raise the outer edge. So extra material will not be required. But there is a disadvantages. So what is the disadvantage here is, at this level, this is the level of your pavement. So here the camber was provided and the slope was such that the drainage was very good. But when there is depression means the level is going down as compared to the nearby area. If the level is going down, then we have to make further arrangements for the drainage, because water may remain here. So we have to arrange some different methods to drain off this extra water from this depression. Second method can be rotating about the inner edge. So how in first case we considered this central point as pivot, we raised this outer edge and simultaneously the inner edge gets depressed. So this is how it worked. But now in rotating about the inner edge, we consider the inner edge as pivot and we raise the outer edge. There is no change on inner edge, but the center line changes. Let's see how this is provided. If this is the ground, this is our initial position on the transition curve after the elimination of this crown, we provide the total super elevation E here only. This is E. Initially we raise the outer edge by half, and because of the pivot at center, the inner edge depressed by half, so the balance or the required elevation was provided. In this case, this outer edge itself is raised completely. So this is the process in which we raise this outer edge considering this inner edge to be the pivot. By doing this process, we eliminated or we moved our central line. So the central point or the central line is moved, the pivot is inner edge and this outer edge is raised completely to give the super elevation. What are the benefits of this? We eliminated the disadvantages, the disadvantage we saw in the first case. How? By eliminating or by not depressing the inner edge. When we not depress the inner edge, the problem due to drainage gets eliminated. Then what is the advantage of this? This is the advantage as drainage is removed. What is the disadvantage of this process? The same which was the advantages of earlier process. What was the advantage of earlier process? The extra material which is required to provide the super elevation rise is not required, as the material from the depression or excavated material can be used for this rise. But here there is no excavation, there is only rise. So we have to provide the extra material. So this is how initially we eliminate the crown, and with the transition we provide the super elevation. So the alignment of super elevation done in these two steps. First, eliminating the crown, then rotating the edge to provide super elevation. Now let's talk about radius. If we have the value of super elevation, or we decide the value of super elevation, and we need to provide what radius, if radius initially is not fixed, so we can determine the radius also. Here we can calculate ruling radius. So what is ruling radius? Ruling means the limit. When we say ruling, ruling means limiting, maximum or minimum. When we are talking about speed, it was ruling speed, which rules means maximum speed. And when we are talking about ruling radius, it ought to be the minimum radius, because larger the radius, less discomfort is there. Larger radius means if the radius is infinite, this means the road is straight. On straight roads, there is no problem of super elevation or centrifugal force. So the radius, when it reduces to a value from infinite to below, then the problem starts with centrifugal force and limiting the speed and all these things. So we have to define a radius which is the safest radius to be provided on the curves. So it can be calculated, our ruling can be calculated using the same formula, that is v square by g. Now the formula was E plus F equals to v square by gr. We are interchanging these values. So if you write, ruling means minimum radius, all the curves should be provided with radius more than ruling radius. इससे ज्यादा रेडियस होनी चाहिए, कम नहीं होनी चाहिए. कम होगा तो बहुत सुपर एलिवेशन, बहुत कम स्पीड, इस तरह की कंडीशंस बन जाएंगी. तो वो सब चीजें हम नहीं चाहते हैं. अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक, नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज extra widening of roads. Look, whenever we are moving on road, whenever we encountered with a curve, there are two things which require extra width of the road. One is vehicle, another one is us. So let's talk about extra widening of this extra widening of road at curves. Let's talk about both the reasons. First is our vehicle. So whenever vehicle is traveling on straight path, let us say the straight path, this is our vehicle, this is the plan of the vehicle. So the front tire and the back tire, both, I'm talking about tires, because the one front tire will be followed by another one back tire. So when these wheels are followed by each other, they move on a straight path. But while moving on a curved path, the front axle is rotated in order to cover that curve. So how this happens? This is the front axle. This is the front axle. And this is your rear axle. In four-wheel drive, there can be that all the four wheels are aligned in same way as of the, or they are following the same path. But in this case, if you see on the curves, the path followed by these front wheels are shown here with black pen, and the path followed by these color is somewhat same, so let me change the color to red. The path followed by the rear wheels is shown in red. So you can see that if I consider this to be a path of this vehicle, while designing or while studying about the road width, I studied that the road width is dependent on the width of vehicle. If we limit the width of vehicle to 2.44 meters, then there will be comfortable space on both the sides to move on the road. But here, when our front wheels are using different path and rear wheels are using different path, then we have to consider widening of the roads. So let us say the radius of this inner wheel, because we are moving a curve, we'll call it radius 2 or radius 1, and the radius on the outer wheel, let's call it radius 2, and the distance between these 2 points is the length of the vehicle, is the length of the vehicle, length of the your vehicle. So we can, if we see this is a right angle triangle, and we can write it, the radius r2 square is equals to r1 square plus L square. Okay, and the space between the inner radius and outer radius is W width, or W width due to this vehicle. Let's call it WM mechanical. WM mechanical. So we can write R2 square as, what is R1? R2 minus mechanical width whole square plus L square. Let's open the equation. Or it is minus 2 R2 WM plus L square. So here we can remove R2 square by R2 square. WM square width, this is very less as compared to the width of this pavement or this lane. So we can remove the square of it, and if we write we want to calculate the value of Wm, what extra widening is required. So we can write it as 2R2 Wm equals to L square. Wm is equals to L square by 2R2, and R2 is actually R2 is R, or mean radius, because outer radius we consider as mean radius. So we can write this formula as Wm equals to L square by 2R. This is for single lane. If there are n number of lanes, for n lanes, we can change this formula to Wm equals to NL square, n times the extra widening. This is the formula, and this is known as mechanical extra widening. This is mechanical extra widening. This is very important formula for gate consideration. The extra width required to accompany the road or accompany the vehicle on the road is mechanical extra winding. Because the rigidity of your vehicle base, you cannot move your vehicle on the same path. So we have to provide this mechanical extra widening. Another one, or another extra widening, is because of human being. That is known as psychological or there is H, psychological extra widening. Psychological extra widening because of the psychology of human being. What is the psychology of human being? The psychology is, if I am moving on a curve, let's make it. Okay. So if I am moving on a curve, if I am moving on the inner side, my line of sight will be till here. But psychology is, I want to see more of the road on the curve. So because of this psychology, I try to move on the outer edge in order to increase my line of sight, or clear my line of sight, or increase my sight distance, visibility. So whenever I'm trying to get on the outer edge, we have to provide some extra widening on the outer edge, and that is known as psychological extra widening. This psychological extra widening is dependent on the velocity of the vehicle. Earlier, the mechanical extra widening was dependent on the length of the vehicle and the radius. Now, the psychological extra widening depends on velocity of the vehicle and your radius. This is the formula given by Indian Road Congress. Here V is the velocity in kilometer per hour and R is your radius in meter. So we should convert this. V is also in meter. So we can divide this equation by, can be written as small v, this is in meter per second, upon, or I'm sorry, this is in small v, this is small v, but generally we are given the value of velocity in capital V, so we want, this is small v, capital V is, small v is meter per second. So generally in questions, the value of this velocity is given in kilometer per hour. So we want this formula to be directly implemented there. So we will convert this small v into capital V. Small v into capital B by dividing it with 3.6. So formula will become 2.4 under root R. If you calculate, you'll find that the formula comes out to be 9.5 under root R. So this is psychological extra widening. And extra widening can be written as W. This is equal to sum of mechanical and psychological extra winding, and the combined equation will be W extra widening is equals to WE extra winding is equals to your psychological and so this is the formula, and you should remember this formula. This can be asked as what is the psychological extra winding separately. They can ask you the what is mechanical extra winding separately, or they can give you all the values and they will ask you what is the extra widening provided, which should be provided for this room. So today we talked about super elevation, design of super elevation, how the alignment of pavement is done in order to provide the super elevation, how the crown is removed, and how we provide super elevation by rotating the outer edge. Then we saw mechanical and psychological extra winding. Now in next lecture, we'll do some questions on mechanical and psychological extra widening, and then we'll start with transition curves. So thank you so much. Meet you in the next lecture.